27. Thursday, mostly sunny all day with a high of 40, and then a chance of snow after 2 a.m., increasing clouds with a low about 26 on Thursday night. Friday, chance of snow mainly before 8 a.m., mostly cloudy with a high of 40, and then a chance of rain between 8 and 2 a.m., then a chance of snow after 2 a.m., mostly cloudy with a low around 30. Saturday, chance of snow again before 8 a.m., then rain likely, mostly cloudy with a high of 43, and then rain likely again on Saturday afternoon with the chance of snow mostly around 31. So here we are. This is, again, a new show here. I'm Jeanne Murphy with Weichert Flemington Real Estate Agency, and my show is called I Love New Jersey. Location, location, location. We are exactly halfway between New York, Philadelphia. We get to enjoy the Jersey Shore in Hunterdon County and also the Poconos. And my guest today is Rich Reiner with Reiner Insurance here in Hunterdon County, New Jersey. And welcome to our show.
Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome. All right, let's talk first about you. Let's learn a little bit about you as a resident of Hunterdon County.
I moved to Hunterdon County to Clinton Township 20 years ago. I grew up in Essex County in Short Hills, and I've been out here for the last 20 years, and I love it, and I'd never move back.
Yeah, agreed, right?
Absolutely. It's great.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about your insurance company. We're talking about homeowners insurance, particularly today, because, again, and we work with Weichert Real Estate Agency. If you're looking for buying a home or selling a home, get in touch with me. And Rich is going to explain to us a little bit about homeowners insurance, which affects both buyers and sellers. So,
okay, well, my agency has been around since 1943. We have two offices, one in Springfield, New Jersey, Union County, and the other one in the town of Clinton. Homeowners insurance is a big thing out in this area because you have a lot of older homes in the Hunterdon County area. The issue with older homes could be underground oil tanks, could be knob and tube wiring, or just regular updates of electrical, roof, plumbing, etc. Most insurance agents in this area should know about these things, but anyone with knob and tube wiring, you can't even get home insurance in New Jersey anymore, not even with the excess markets. They do not want to write it because of that material around the wiring, that if it heats up, it could cause a fire, and there goes the whole home. What
happens if someone out there right now has a home that has insurance that never realized it? Do they have to get new insurance? Is it canceled for existing people who have knob and tube wiring?
Right now, no. It's not an issue right now. However, if their insurance carrier ever comes out to inspect and finds that it has knob and tube wiring, then the issue is going to be they're going to ask them that they need to replace it. If they don't, they can issue cancellation to their policy.
It's really important if you're out there, and especially if you're thinking about selling your house. Can you talk about that for a second?
Selling your house, I've had several clients that have purchased knob and tube wiring homes. And basically, you still can get insurance as long as you have a contract from an electrical contractor stating it's going to be replaced. Then you won't have any problems getting insurance.
But at the same time, a seller may want to consider having it converted before they put it up because it can make a buyer a little bit anxious about actually wanting to buy the house, right?
It does.
Yeah.
And most of the time, you'll see the seller, they'll put money aside in escrow. Mm-hmm. You know, they'll come to an agreement. That's what I see more of.
That's good. So go ahead and tell us more about the common things that homeowners need to know about with homeowners insurance.
Depending on what type of home you have, what you need to understand is, do you have replacement cost on the home? Can you get replacement cost on the home if the home is built prior to 1925?
Really?
Yeah.
Explain that, because we have a lot of houses like that around here.
Every insurance company varies on their coverages. Some do not offer replacement cost on the home if it's built prior to 1925.
Very interesting.
Others will, like your Chubb Insurance will. Mm-hmm. Others will offer what's called ordinance of law coverage, which is an endorsement you want on your policy for this reason. Take example, my home was built in 1986.
Okay.
If I had a bad fire in my home and the home burnt down, okay, if I didn't have what's called ordinance of law coverage on my policy, they would build the home back to the specs of 1986. not to today's code.
Wow.
So that's why that's a special endorsement that you need on policies. All policies, no matter how old the home is, you can get replacement cost on your contents. That's not an issue. Other things, depending on what town you live in, like Flemington or the town of Clinton, you have certain carriers that have a new endorsement on policies called service line coverage. These are the lines that run from the streets, whether it's the gas line, the sewer line, to your home. If, in fact, you have on several occasions the roots maybe from trees and they break the sewer line. So, and then you have to dig up your yard to fix it, and usually that's your cost. Several companies now offer this endorsement on your policy, give you coverage of about $10,000. It just happened to my nephew.
Oh, nice.
And so now they just said, here's $10,000. I don't know what's going to cost you, but this should help you replace that piece of pipe.
How much does it usually go for? Does it cover it enough?
It varies.
Yeah.
It should cover it. They don't have to replace the whole line from the street. They only have to replace that section. So that depends on who you get doing the job. So that's how that works.
I think it's fascinating. I'm a real estate agent with Weichert Flemington. My name's Jeanne Murphy. If you don't know me, I would love to help you buy a home or sell your home. And by the way, if you're watching this streaming live on Facebook and you live in Hunterdon County, we need houses. So if you're holding off putting your house on the market for the spring, now is the time. We have buyers and we don't have any inventory. So that's one thing to know. I am fascinated by some of the trades that relate to real estate. So if you're thinking of buying, or if you have a homeowner's policy already, you might want to have a competitive take a second look, which is what I've been doing with these guys. That's why we're here today with Rich, because my policy was really out of date. I mean, I'm so glad that I actually met one of your associates to actually review my contract to see how many things I was missing, because it had been in place for so long. So let's talk, let's hear more about what are the most common things that you come across when people knock on your door and say that they're either buying, start with a buyer, a brand new buyer who's never had homeowners insurance before and never owned a home. What do they need to know?
Hopefully they need to know how to maintain their own home. It's very interesting you ask that. You know, there's really not much difference between owning a condo or owning your own home outside of now you're responsible for everything around your premises. It's always important to make sure everything is updated. The furnace, you know, the hot water heater. Most hot water heaters only have a life of 10 to 12 years and should be replaced. If they're not, you're taking a chance on, okay, when it goes, it's going to flood your basement or whatever floor the hot water heater is on. What we do at our agency, and we get a lot of calls all the time, we sit down with them, we see what their coverages are, we try to explain to them, look, the insurance on your home is not based on the market value, what you paid for it. It's not based on the appraised value of what it's appraised for. It's based on the reconstruction value. Now, reconstruction value is based on the square footage of the home.
Okay.
So you should be insuring your home for at least $175 per square foot, to give you an idea.
Okay.
So we sit down with our clients and we explain this. We come up with numbers. Now, of course, every insurance company, their rates vary. But in New Jersey, another thing the customer needs to know is everything is credit rated. So your financial credit score, which is called an insurance score, it's not like running your credit for a mortgage. It's different.
Oh.
That insurance score is going to determine your insurance rate as well. It does play a part in it.
Is that where, like, that you, if you've had claims before, is that how does that work?
Nothing to do
because
with
that's
claims.
A misconception. I love finding these little misconceptions. Go ahead. Sorry.
You know, and like you said, I may get a client that comes in and say, well, I've had 3 claims in the last year. I just had a woman in Flemington that had that issue. One, nothing was paid. Another one, they paid $300-400, and another one they paid about $5,000 for a leak in the upstairs bathroom that they were away and it came down and did extensive damage. Now, she was getting non-renewed by her carrier because of these claims. Now, depending on every agent, it's their rapport with the insurance company. Hey, can you do this for me? We'll rate it at a higher deductible. So if anything happens, it's less of a payoff for the insurance company. And then see how they go for a year and then reduce the deductible again. So there's ways around everything. What Ken, and I know Ken was the one that helped you in my office.
Yep.
What we do, whether we insure the person or not, we look at their coverages. We give them ideas. Hey, you should have this. You have a diamond ring. I just had a client that lost her diamond ring in a graveyard when she was visiting her parents because the cold, the hands, she has no idea where they were. She had them scheduled to her policy, thank God, now they're covered 100%.
Wow.
Because if you don't do that, they're not covered. You only have coverage subject to theft. So, that's another thing that we do. But we go over everything. Whether we write the client or not, we educate them. And as long as they're educated, they're going to remember that. And they're going to say, hey, I remember let me go back to them because now I'm having difficulty with my current agent or something like that.
I want to go to our break, but I do want everybody again to know I'm Jeanne Murphy. This is Weichert Real Estate. This show is called I Love New Jersey. Location, location, location. And my guest is Rich Reiner from Reiner Insurance here in Hunterdon County. And I do want you to know that I literally am one of their clients because I actually had one of their people part of the Hunterdon Chamber Connects group that we have look at my policy, and I was actually paying more for less. So we're going to come back in just a second and talk about more about insurance. And if you can stay with us, that'd be great.
Are you struggling to find the right person to stay in that critical role in your company? Trying to attract and retain millennials? Regional Personnel is your staffing solution. Located in Lebanon, New Jersey, Regional Personnel is an ASA-certified, privately held staffing and recruiting firm providing you with everything from temporary to permanent employees. As ASA-certified professionals, we employ the latest tools and techniques to find, screen, and present to you the best talent that fits your needs. The result? Access to top talent in the shortest time with the lowest chance of turnover. We guarantee it. So call Regional today at 908-534-8113 or visit us on the web at regionalpersonnel.com.
Did you know that 1 in 5 people are affected by mental illness? NAMI Hunterdon is the locally affiliate for NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness. We are all volunteers, and all our programs are free of charge. We offer Family to Family, a 12-week course for families that have an adult member with mental illness. Another popular program is In Our Own Voice, where individuals who are living with mental illness discuss their challenges and their progress in overcoming those challenges. Another course we offer is Basics, a 6-week course for families with a child or an adolescent who has experienced mental illness. We also have a monthly support group for families on the third Thursday of every month. Please call NAMI Hunterdon at 908-284-0500 for more information about any of our programs or to join. NAMI Hunterdon, the voice for mental health in Hunterdon County.
Are you looking to get your message in front of a qualified audience through all the noise out there today? Consider taking an advertisement out on Hunterdon Chamber Radio, WHCR DB, the voice of business. Contact the Chamber today at 908-782-7115 or give us an email at info@hunterdon-chamber.org. You're listening to WHCR-DB, HunterdonChamberRadio.com. Brought to you by the Hunterdon County Chamber of Commerce, the voice of business.
All right, we're back on this new show here at the Hunterdon County Chamber of Commerce radio station. It's called I Love New Jersey, and I do. I'm Jeanne Murphy, and I'm with Weichert and Flemington, and my guest is also a Hunterdon County resident because when we love New Jersey, we do. But we love, love, love Flemington and Hunterdon County, New Jersey, because it's just such a beautiful place. Halfway, like I say, between New York and Philadelphia. Everybody, who lives here loves it because we've got like majestic views, small country living, tumbleweed and Ringos, and just beautiful assets, right?
It takes a little get used to, if you come from the city.
Yeah.
But it's worth every penny.
It is worth every penny. And a lot of people don't realize it's only a half an hour to like Jersey City, which we're finding a lot of buyers, by the way, coming out from just outside of the city on the open houses recently. But one thing, again, to remind you all, if you know someone who's thinking of selling their house, please call me at Weichert Flemington, because we have buyers and we don't have any inventory. Did you know that?
I knew that.
It's really, really, really hard. There's people standing in line. You can't even, I had a couple of people set up for Sunday morning to actually go see a home and actually put an offer in. And by the time I arranged it on Saturday, it was off the market and gone by Sunday. And so today, Rich is telling us about his insurance company. It's called Reiner Insurance in Clinton, New Jersey, servicing the state. And
Pennsylvania.
And
New York. And Connecticut. We're licensed in several states.
Well, I am a client. And I am very happy to tell everybody out there again that the reason that we're even talking today is because when you're buying a home or when you own a home, you have to have homeowners insurance. And I thought it'd be fun to learn from the other side of the fence, as they say, from the owner of the insurance company. Tell us about policies like deductibles and all that.
Well, with homeowners insurance, you can get anywhere from a $500 deductible to a $10,000 deductible. Your deductible is used when you have a loss. What happens is that first dollar amount, almost like medical insurance, that's your expense, and then everything over the insurance company will cover. But there are little glitches to that depending on what the loss is. For example, a pipe break.
Okay.
Okay? It will be your cost to repair that pipe and the cost to the plumber. However, all that damage that the water may have caused would be covered by the insurance company.
Okay.
Just gives you an idea.
Yeah. What about, can you talk about, let's talk about wind and roofs.
Since we just had that heavy wind the last couple days.
Oh, my goodness. It was crazy.
A lot of trees came down.
Yeah.
A lot of power lines came down. There were certain people up in the Pittstown area that still do not have power today.
Wow.
So, and I see the little comments on some of the different websites, where is JCP&L? But this happens, and people say, okay, well, on the homeowner's end, what type of coverage do I have? It's important that you protect some of your
Pull your mic a little closer. I want everybody to hear.
It's important that you protect some of your electrical appliances. Make sure they're on a surge protector.
Okay.
Which is good because you got to watch out for the brownouts, the power surges. Some of that stuff would not be covered. Okay. There are policies that you can get, insurance policies, endorsements to cover the food spoilage. For when we had that wind, 3 days ago? All right. People are without power now. Some of that food's going to have to be thrown out. And if it were like a restaurant, the Board of Health would come in and make them get rid of everything anyway.
Wow.
And that would be a big expense to them. So there is coverage for spoilage for foods that they can get on their home policy.
Red alert. Are you out there listening? Or do you share this with anybody you know that might not have power right now? You're telling us about that there's actually coverage on a homeowner's insurance for food when the power goes out, perhaps.
Yes.
That's really important.
Get that, which is important.
It is important.
A lot of people say, well, I had a tree fall. I had several clients call. They had a tree fall. Did not hit the house. Went across their yard.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about this.
Okay.
Whose insurance is it when it lands on someone else's yard?
Well, here's the thing. Say your neighbor's tree falls and it lands on your yard. And it's a live tree.
Okay.
Okay. There is no negligence on the part of your neighbor because it's an act of God. It's a live tree. They didn't do anything wrong. Okay. So usually hopefully they're a nice neighbor, you split the difference to get the tree removed.
Right.
Under your homeowner's policy, depending which company you're with, you can get $500 to $1,000 of coverage for the removal of that tree.
After the deductible.
Now,
really?
Most likely, when you get a tree person to come out, they're expensive to remove.
$2,000.
So if they see that, they're going to just give you the $500 or $1,000 that you have on your policy and be done with it, and that's it.
Okay.
So you do have some coverage if it just falls across your lawn. Now, if it falls and hits your house or lands on your deck, now they're going to cover the removal of that tree, at least the portion that's on your deck or your home. which is most likely the majority of the tree.
Is that two different policies? Or,
Same home
same
policy.
policy, but is it two different type of claims? Like one is the damage on the patio and one's the tree fall, or is it just?
No, if it's damage to your deck, that's part of the home. That's part of the structure.
Okay.
So it's all that. You have one specific amount for if it just falls across your property and doesn't hit anything.
Okay.
All right.
So when,
That's all
just
they're
to
gonna
clarify, if someone's tree fell on my yard, and would I be the one to call the insurance company, or would the other family be calling to put the claim in?
Well, again, if most of the trees on your property,
It's me.
it's your responsibility.
Okay.
You know, personally, I would talk to my neighbor, say, hey, you
Yeah.
know, this is going on. You know, I had a nice neighbor where I cut back a lot of the trees that he had planted many years ago, and they were big. They were overhanging my house, and I said, time to move these trees. So
Then when he, like, okay, would they, if the neighbor's tree fell on my property, would the neighbors, if the base of the trunk of the tree was still on their property,
that's their problem.
so would they have a claim too?
They would have a claim too.
If they wanted to call and find
if
out.
they wanted to call and do
Right.
it. Now, my recommendation is if you have a friend that's great with a chainsaw, just go
Just
and
do it.
cut it up.
Yeah.
You know, don't report small claims because it will come back to haunt you.
Yeah, that's really important. I also want to make a joke because I have my dear, dear best friend in the world, Colleen Kelly, my business partner too. She lives on Forest Drive in Flemington. Do you know where that is?
Yes, I do.
And I always laugh because I say it's like a red X over Forest Drive because over the last couple of years between the Hurricane Sandy and Irene or whatever, it's not forest anymore. Those trees were like 100 feet high and they just all went down. So on top of that, they did have someone with a chainsaw, which helped a lot because it was a lot of work, but it was worth it to get it done. Sorry.
So no, that's all good. You know, it's really important that they know the certain things, what the coverages would be. A lot of insurance companies, when you write home insurance, they're going to come out and inspect the property.
Okay.
Depending if it's over $1 million home, they're going to do an interior and exterior inspection. If it's less than $1 million, basically they just do an exterior inspection. They look to make sure your steps aren't cracked, that you have railings if it's more than 3 steps. They'll look at the roof to make sure the shingles aren't curling at all, anything like that, that the gutters are attached properly, and the runoffs for the gutters, the chutes are away from the home. What else will they check? They'll see if there's any overhanging limbs.
Oh.
That could be a danger from a storm that could drop and do damage to your home. Cut them away. That'd be the smart thing to do. I know a lot of people like to keep these things because it shades the property and shades the home. But, you know, you got to be careful. You got to think, you know, worst case scenario, which I've been doing for 36 years, you know, what's going to happen next.
Yeah.
So
I really want everybody out there to know I'm Jeanne Murphy. This is Weichert Real Estate Agency's show, actually. It's called I Love New Jersey. And my guest is Rich Reiner from Reiner Insurance. Why don't you talk a little bit about how, and everybody I know that's been through the ringer with the hurricanes and stuff, when you call up your policy holder and you don't get a live operator. But what you do with you.
We make an effort that if they call the Clinton office, they're going to get a live person. They're not going to get that mobile thing, hey, for this, push this. If they call our other office, now my brother works a different way, you know, but it says for Rich Reiner, hit this number, so they're going to get me directly.
Yeah.
A lot of my clients, probably too many, have my cell number.
Yeah,
Because
I'm
a
not
lot of-
joking. I've been watching his
a lot
phone
of
ring
things
for the
happen
last
on
hour.
Weekends. A lot of clients, they go out and they buy cars on weekends. So who, you know,
They
hey,
need a
how am
car.
I going to get this car off the lot if I don't have insurance?
So talk about some of your other services for insurance. I wasn't thinking that.
We are a property casualty agent, so we write from your home to your auto. We write an umbrella policy. Now, an umbrella policy is an excess liability policy that protects you in excess of your liability limits on your home and your auto. Now, very important, if you own a home and you have cars and you have assets, you want an umbrella. $1 million umbrella for a 2-car home, one home, is like $175 a year.
What?
But you're protecting yourself because in this state, which I've seen so many times, it's a very sue-happy state that, a minor bump, they're suing you for $1 million. It just ruined me for life and this and that. My neck is killing me. This protects you. You don't want to lose everything that you've worked for and earned. But we also write a lot of business insurance.
Oh, really?
From contractors to Main Street business. Anything here in Flemington, in Clinton, to manufacturers, to, pet insurance. There are some people that want to insure their pet. Not a lot, but there are those that, have that connection with their pet, whether it be Arabian horse.
Are they getting more and more popular? Are they getting more?
It is. It's getting more popular, and there's some insurance companies that do that. Wedding insurance. You're hearing a lot about that. What happens if this whole thing falls apart?
So awful to think about that happening.
Do I have coverage? Now, my nephew, we got a phone call from a friend of ours. My daughter's friend called her, said, "Hey, did you hear about this place in Watchung that had a fire? And isn't that the place that DJ's getting married in 3 days?"
Oh, God.
Yeah, it is. Well, they didn't know. They didn't hear about it yet. So it was a crazy case scenario. Long story short, we paid half the cost and everything worked out great.
What did they do?
They brought in trucks to do all the cooking, big food trucks.
Wow. At the same place?
At the same place.
Wow.
And it was all served and catered, and it turned out really good. But, again, here's a situation that if you had the insurance, it was a disaster like this.
Oh, yeah. Well, just to talk
he's
about
covered.
that, a reason we can go into that direction is because a lot of times people who are thinking of buying a home are also getting married. So talking about this wedding insurance is very important. And I don't know, do you remember a couple of years ago when it was about May or June? And it was the same kind of thing, only there was like this really famous wedding venue place up near Jersey City went out of business. And it was all over the news because the next day, all these weddings
and
were
all the people
off.
that were booked. And they had no idea.
They had no idea. I'll put a plug out for our Wolverton Inn. If you don't know about have you been to the Wolverton Inn?
No, I haven't.
It's over in Stockton. They're one of the top 10 wedding venue destinations in the country. Right here in our Hunterdon County.
I hear the Ryland Inn is unbelievable.
We were just there Friday night with the Hunterdon Chamber's annual meeting. It was incredible. Yes, Ryland Inn, another great member of the Chamber of Commerce, by the way. I always plug the Chamber.
And like you said, the people that are before buying a house, the newlyweds.
Yes.
The guy goes out and buys an engagement ring. Is he insuring it?
Oh, boy. Yeah, I bet you they don't even think about that.
They don't. Yeah. They hold on to it.
So you can get an insurance policy on a ring or jewelry without a house?
You can get anything, yes. There are certain
I did
companies
not know
that will give you a jewelry floater, and that's all. You want to insure that ring. You want to be careful. I mean, for the most part, guys are spending a pretty penny for an engagement ring. So
I got to make a funny joke. I'm serious because I do have my jewelry insured. But a couple weeks ago, I was driving to an open house, and I was like driving, and I looked over, and my diamond was gone outside. It fell out of the ring. I called my husband because I was afraid I was gonna get killed, and he did find it on the floor, which was a miracle.
Thank God.
Yeah, but I mean, so you can have insurance on that.
If you had a policy on that,
and if I didn't find
it,
a
home and it was scheduled, like in your case, you have a home. If it was scheduled to the policy, then it would have been covered 100% to replace that diamond back into the set.
Well, we have another plug we could put out for Saunders Jewelry because they gave us an appraisal and a whole package to put on the rider of the insurance policy when we bought the ring.
Very important. Make sure you keep certain valuable jewelry items. Keep the appraisals updated.
Yeah.
Gold and diamond values change.
Interesting.
So it's always good because,
Isn't this fun? This is so much more fun than I thought. Homeowners is very, very fun. But
think
now
of the
we're off
people
on a
that
journey.
have been married over 20 years, and they got their diamond for whatever the cost was 20 years ago.
Or do they go up or down?
Most of the time they will go up. The value of a diamond 20 years ago? Yeah. So if they don't have it
I don't pay attention to these things, but I'm very...
updated, they're not going to get the same amount of money
Right.
they would have
Right.
if they did that.
Very interesting. So, okay. So any tips out there for people? I like when you were talking about the pipe breaking
The
thing.
service line.
Yeah.
Right.
Tell me about some, we have a couple minutes actually just to talk about sometimes when you get calls when things are pretty common and just to relieve the mind of what sometimes people don't even think to call about, like the jewelry.
Other common things are I get people to call me about their pets. They call me about their pets. Is it okay? Is the insurance going to give me a hard time if I get a pit bull?
Oh,
Well,
nice
I got to tell
question.
you, if you're trying to buy a home, there are very few companies that have what's called a dog bite exclusion. They have a list of what dogs they do not want to insure.
what?
So there are 2 or 3 select companies that I know of that will write any type of dog. But a lot of them, they'll exclude pit bulls, Rottweilers, Dobermans, Akitas, certain dogs that they say have a history of biting.
So the question I have is on a normal homeowner policy, if you have a dog or something, does that come into the questionnaire to fill out at the beginning?
Yes, it does.
And-
On an application, they ask you if you have any pets.
Okay.
And if you do, then it asks you how many,
Mm-hmm.
it asks you the breed, it asks you bite history. So
This is why you have to work with a person on insurance rather than just go online and just fill out stuff. Because I could see missing that because one of my best friends got bit by a pit bull. It was over $100,000 by her face.
And it's just not a bite. You could have a golden retriever that gets really excited and runs out and knocks an elderly person down and
Wow.
breaks their arm.
Does it happen a
never
lot?
know. It's happened.
Yeah.
It's happened. They're excitable, and
Yeah.
that happens.
just
I've
don't think
seen
about it.
Little tiny dogs that they think, oh, they're the cutest thing until they bite you in the face.
Yeah.
And they're doing all the kissy stuff until they get nailed. It happens. It's happened at least a dozen times. Not all the time. A dozen times over my 36 years, I've seen it happen.
That's just fascinating to me.
That's
wouldn't even
that's
think about it.
something you need to be concerned with. Normal other things, different claims, little smoke damage, back puffs from the furnace, with
I had a puffback.
okay. So
Oh. My God.
the cleanup.
The whole entire house.
Yeah.
3 years.
Yeah. And what's important is when you
But I
have-
didn't even know that it was covered. But I found out, thank God. One of my friends, Sue Kanak, by the way, she goes, oh, you had an oil puff back. I was on a cruise. I had to take off and go on a cruise for 10 days just to get out of the house because it was cheaper to go on the cruise than to stay at a hotel. So it was kind of fun. But they had to take all my dry cleaning, every single thing in the house. It was $20,000. It was all covered. But if
Right.
my friend didn't tell me that she knew what a puffback was, I wouldn't even known to call the insurance company. That was a couple years ago. And just so you know, I did have to fight it, but they immediately came out and said that, yes, this is covered. Nobody even knew what it was. When I was on the cruise, there were a bunch of construction people on the same cruise, and they never heard of a puffback.
And here's the
There's
thing.
oil everywhere.
A lot of people, in today's society, they go online, they try to buy the insurance through the Geico's, through the Progressives online. Now, here's the situation. When you have a problem and an issue, you're not going to be talking to the same person. So, whether it's my agency or another independent agent in the area, at least you have someone to bounce anything off of. All right? Don't start reporting everything. Talk to your agent before you do anything.
Meaning call you
Right.
first. Don't call
and
the...
again, any of my insured, when they call me, we handle everything.
Yeah.
And
Do you-
actually, I've had 2 family members with automobile accidents in the last 2 weeks.
Oh, no.
So, both not at fault, but, here I am guiding them. This is what we're going to do. I'll take care of it.
I want to
I'll
talk.
report.
This is so great. Okay, we have to go to our real quick last break here. This is I Love New Jersey Radio. Location. We're focusing on Hunterdon County mostly because we just love it so much. I'm Jeanne Murphy, Weichert Real Estate Agency in Flemington, and my guest is Richard Reiner from Reiner Insurance in Clinton, serving this tri-state area. We'll be right back. Thanks for watching in.
Did you know that 1 in 5 people are affected by mental illness? NAMI Hunterdon is the locally affiliate for NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness. We are all volunteers, and all our programs are free of charge. We offer Family to Family, a 12-week course for families that have an adult member with a mental illness. Another popular program is In Our Own Voice, where individuals who are living with mental illness discuss their challenges and their progress in overcoming those challenges. Another course we offer is Basics, a 6-week course for families with a child or an adolescent who has experienced mental illness. We also have a monthly support group for families on the third Thursday of every month. Please call NAMI Hunterdon at 908-284-0500 for more information about any of our programs or to join. NAMI Hunterdon, the voice for mental health in Hunterdon County.
You're listening to WHCR-DB, HunterdonChamberRadio.com. Brought to you by the Hunterdon County Chamber of Commerce, the voice of business.
I'm Andy Ross. I'm chairman of the Ambassadors Committee of the Chamber. As members of the Ambassadors Committee, we contact new and renewing members of the Chamber to get their feedback on their Chamber experience and make them feel more at home with the Chamber.
Hunterdon Chamber of Commerce, building business, one business at a time.
Advancing Hunterdon is an ever-sharp focus on the growth and prosperity of Hunterdon County's businesses. Advancing Hunterdon engages businesses within and throughout the county that are responsive to a call to action as the next chapter in business success. If your business and organization wants to get engaged, contact the Chamber today at 908-782-7115 or give us an email at info@hunterdon-chamber.org. Advancing Hunterdon, a roadmap
Oh,
to
yes,
economic
practice
growth
is on.
for the business
They
community
can hear
of
us.
Hunterdon.
Okay, hi, welcome back to this is the show. It's a new show called I Love New Jersey. Location, location, location. I'm Jeanne Murphy. I'm with Weichert Flemington, and my guest is Richard Reiner from Reiner Insurance. And I just want to remind you to come back and watch 3 o'clock Talented People this afternoon. But for now, we're talking about homeowners insurance. We've gotten into jewelry insurance and pet insurance. And you're going to tell us a little bit more about the process for those who are thinking of, say they got under contract to purchase a home. Where do you come in? Explain how long it takes and what they have to do.
Homeowners insurance is probably the easiest one of the insurances to write.
Okay?
So if someone comes into contract with a home, they give us a call or their agent a call, and how it should work is you can get quotes same day or by the next day,
Okay.
depending. I mean, most say, all right, I'll have them to you by tomorrow. Get several quotes from different companies. Me being an independent agent, I run the gambit, and I take my best companies, best price, same coverage, and I present them to the insured.
Okay.
How long does it take to write? If they decide they want it, when they have the closing date, I tell them, hey, give me the mortgage clause, everything you need. This can be done in a day's time.
Okay.
It's really not that difficult. Everything, modern technology, everything is email. You don't have to come in. Applications can be emailed to you.
Yeah.
Then when it's, invoiced or something, you can pay online by credit card. You can pay by check. That's how it is today, which makes it a lot easier.
Right.
A lot of
It
people say,
makes
hey, I
it-
want to pay by my credit card to rack up my air miles or whatever they want to do.
Right.
So, but it's a very simple process. But I would recommend that people talk to an agent, go over everything, have a good understanding of what you have and what you're being insured for. I mean, it's really important.
Yeah, and especially I really love the fact that when you actually call their insurance company, you get the owners answering. There's staff people you could talk to instead of just being deferred. And I'm not joking. If you've never had a policy before issue, you would not understand the frustration of not being able to talk to one person who's looking out for you. And that's what you guys do. When we're your client,
Right.
And that's a good thing.
My grandfather, when he started the business, he said, it's service, service, service. It has to be service-oriented. They've got to be able to talk to you. It puts everybody in a comfort zone. And I feel better knowing what's going on with a person. And I actually remember things from way back when more than I remember my own kids' names on occasion. But, it's really important that you have that rapport with your clients. And again, it's not homes because you probably sell townhomes too.
Right.
And they go like wildfire.
Yeah.
I mean, there's different coverages on that they need to be aware of.
Tell us.
Loss assessment coverage.
What's that?
Perfect coverage. Loss assessment is where there's a lawsuit against the association,
Okay.
okay? The association pays out money for a claim. They assess all the unit owners in the association. Well, this loss assessment coverage gives you the coverage that will pay that.
Wow.
If they don't have that coverage, well, it's coming out of their pocket.
Well, I can tell a story. Okay. So one of the first houses my husband and I lived in was a townhouse. And we had a really, really, really hard sloped driveway. And it was like the first day after we got married, the first party after we finally moved into our house, that one of my best friends slipped on the way out. And literally, I encouraged her to sue us because basically she had pins and she was a beautician. So she lost 6 months of work in the summer and all this stuff, right? So she did. She ended up suing the townhome association because they had the permit was approved on that slope that was just dangerous. So what you're talking about is so interesting because they sued the townhome association, and like you talk about, then the assessments went back to all the other people when they readjusted their budgets because they had to pay out the claim. Interesting. So you have a policy that protects people from that kind of thing because they do get sued all the time, right?
Right.
There's always something going on in a dense, high volume capacity townhouse.
And you got to look at the bylaws and everything for the association. What are you responsible for? There are certain associations, you have what's called buildings and alterations coverage. They think, oh, I'm only responsible for the inner walls and within, okay? When they say that, does that mean that they're going to put up all the walls that separate each room in there? Or are you going to get your square shell and you got to put the walls up? I mean, there's a lot involved there. So we go
important.
over all that with the clients.
It's so
to make
important.
sure
Yeah.
that the
When people
coverage
are
is there.
buying there, it's so important to review the bylaws too because of the roofs. Whose responsibility is it? Each one's different.
That's right. And we asked if they can get a copy of their
Bylaws.
their agreement. We need to see that to make sure we're covering them the right way.
Which is another point about why it's important to do it with a person instead of online.
Absolutely.
That's a really important point that you made right there because a lot of times you're just going to go online and you click a couple buttons and you think you're covered, but then you don't have a person reviewing the bylaws.
And we have several direct writers out there. When you're calling you're calling a different country to handle a claim, they don't know what's going on. Have no idea. It's always, I recommend an independent agent, whether it's our office or someone they're comfortable with. If they're with an independent agent, that's the way to go.
Right. And it's no different for me in real estate. People can go on Zillow and Trulia and Realtor, and they always, just because they see a house is being opened and shown for the weekend, they might go to that place. But it's better to have an agent to work with the buyers and sellers.
That knows the whole deal.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's very important.
Don't go in blind.
No, don't go in blind. Yeah. So give us more. You got about 5 more minutes of common issues that you hear in your office.
Common issues that I hear in our office.
Talk about like a regular car accident. What's the story with that?
I got to tell you, car accidents are crazy. You never know what's going to happen. I mean, yesterday alone, right on Route 78, which out here is just absolutely insane.
Yeah.
I happened to be in Springfield in the morning driving back, and Watchung, they had 78 closed because of a fatality.
Oh.
People just don't know how to drive out here. But auto insurance, very important. Make sure you have rental reimbursement coverage.
Oh.
Make sure if you don't have AAA that you have towing coverage on there. However, if you're in an accident, the towing coverage comes under your collision, so it really doesn't matter.
Oh.
But if you just have a mechanical breakdown, have that towing coverage. You can get up to $100. Or AAA, whichever's easier for you. We recommend that. I have towing coverage, but I also have AAA because I have 3 daughters that if they're driving, I can't see most of them changing a tire.
Yeah.
So they can make a phone call and take care of it. And what's good about AAA, if they're in a friend's car and the friend's car breaks
Yeah, it's
down,
amazing. Yeah.
like one of my daughters was going into New York and her girlfriend's car broke down in the Lincoln Tunnel.
Oh my God.
So
I always
they had to
wonder what
they
would
have
happen.
One of those emergency vehicles that have that rubber in the front to push them out. So with her AAA, she could have had them towed. She didn't realize it, but she could have had it towed all the way back to where they needed to be in Jersey.
That's so funny because her dad's the insurance person, but she didn't know.
So,
The shoemaker's shoe is never tied, they say.
yeah. And when involved in an accident, no matter how minor, have the police show up.
Oh, tell us about this.
Reason being, and the other party, you could have tapped somebody in the rear. You don't see any damage.
Okay.
Oh, the guy goes, oh, don't worry about it, don't worry, leaves. Within 2 years, they have 2 years that you can turn around and you can get subpoenaed saying the person was injured in the accident.
Oh, my
And
goodness.
you have no documentation, no proof.
So you're saying that if I accidentally bumped into your car, that I should call the cops to make
I
sure
would call
that
the
they know
cops.
that there's something on record, even
Yes.
if we don't claim anything, but because there'll be some paper trail.
I just had a client that he backed up his car into a big Ford F-150. He was intimidated by the guy driving the truck. He took all my client's information, his son's information, didn't give any of his. Now, so he has no idea who this person is. He said, the truck has no damage, so I'm not worried about that. I said, yeah, but who knows what he's going to do within the next 2 years?
Right.
Hopefully he's a decent human being and nothing's going to happen.
Right.
But if
But-
that were the case and there was no damage, why is he taking all the pertinent information and not giving any of his information? So, again,
So if you accidentally bump into someone's car, you should definitely call the police, whether or not you do a claim. If someone bumps into you
call the police.
and do the same thing, and then if they say, "Come on, let's keep it off the insurance record. I'll just send you a check." What do you do?
I've had clients. You don't have to report it, okay? Or you can send it in for reporting purposes only, not looking to claim anything. There's no damage, just to make the insurance company aware.
But aren't they
Okay.
going to rate hike you and everything? Isn't it? It's like terrifying to call them.
Well, I mean,
We only have
depending
1
on the
minute.
insurance, it's on an
Insurance,
incident thing. If they pay out money over $1,000, yeah, you're going to get surcharged. If they pay nothing, will you see a change? Some companies say it's based on incidents. Again, that's why you talk to an independent agent.
All right.
Everything is bounced off them.
You know what makes me really crazy? The word accident forgiveness. Because it's like, I am paying you for my accidents, and don't tell me you're going to forgive me. I hate that. But we
But
don't
you
even
wanna
have any
know
time to
something?
talk. You get the last words. Go ahead.
Yes, there are insurance companies that offer accident forgiveness for your first incident. They also offer forgiveness for your first moving violation if it's a minor 2-point violation.
Oh.
So, but if you get another one after that, then you're going to get slammed with both. So,
Well,
Be a good driver.
Yes, be a good driver. Be a safe driver. Make sure you get in touch with us if you're looking for a home. I'm Jeanne Murphy, Weichert Flemington, buying and selling. We need some houses here. And Richard Reiner from Reiner Insurance in Hunterdon County, New Jersey. We will have another show one day talking about that because I think insurance is so funny. We forgot all about that. It's nice to have a friend on the other side.
absolutely. Call with any questions.
All right, don't forget to come back and watch 3 o'clock for Talented People. Have a great day. Hi, I'm Jeanne Murphy, host of Talented People Radio, produced by Mariah Media. Our show is fun, and we specialize on interviewing some of the most awesome people